Hey there guys and girls, Manthis here and welcome back to another video. So let's talk legendaries for a few minutes then. Let's look at what we're going to be doing going into next week, or at least after the first reset, and how the rank 1 legendaries are going to affect the market and how we can make a bunch of gold with doing such. Rank 1s are going to actually start being in high demand by people. We've been trying to craft them and sell them and try and turn as much profit from them as we can this week to slowly but surely push that experience bar further to the right so that we can unlock rank 2 and rank 3 and rank 4. But it's been a bit of a challenging week, and the challenge has really been actually selling these items, and that's been pretty much quite apparent when you look at the prices of some of these rank 1 legendaries, or even 2, 3s and 4 legendaries if they're appearing on your auction house. We're really struggling to sell them. The focus this week has been on Dark Moon cards, obviously. People are making a killing in that market. But anybody that's been playing with tailoring, leatherworking, jewelcrafting, blacksmithing, they've been trying to level up their legendaries, and they're hitting this brick wall where they're just not selling, and people are starting to undercut heavily, and they're starting to post them for, in many cases, less than crafting cost, which TLDR, bad idea, don't do it. But there's lots of little ways that we can look at this going forward. We're about to have the first reset, and what that is going to do is it's going to mean that people that have got this quest, the Ashes of the Tower quest, they've done their Torghast for this week, they're going to have been collecting some of the dust. A lot of people are going to be sat at 810 out of 1250 soul ash right now. 810 is the limit that you can achieve in the first week of the game. Once we get the reset though, people can head back into Torghast and get the rest of what they need. People are going to hit this 1250 mark. Now what does this do? This means that people are going to go and hand in this quest, and then the rune carver is going to tell them, congratulations, you can now make a legendary. You need this, this, this and this, and he's going to give you a shopping list. Now the goblins of us out there know what's on that shopping list. One of the important things, the rank 1 base legendary, or not necessarily a rank 1, just a base legendary. So a whole bunch of people are going to go running off to the auction house to kind of tick every box on this shopping list. 2 missives, easily done, not a problem at all. The base legendary though is going to require people to put a little bit more thought into it. But for us tailors, us blacksmiths, us leatherworkers, us jewel crafters, you can guarantee we're going to be there with our stock, with our shop doors open and the stock on the shelves ready for people to buy. And what I want to do is go through each of the professions just for 2 minutes today and explain exactly how your shop front should look and how you should operate and how you should go forward and what are the best ways you can sell these legendaries. So let's just quickly switch back to the bank character for a moment. And I suppose we'll start with tailoring. We'll start with tailoring because it's the easiest one. The materials for tailoring are very, very widely available. But interestingly, tailoring is also the one that is going to be more difficult to make good profit with. And this is the exact reason why. Tailoring, the materials have been super abundant. If you look at the prices of shrouded cloth and lightless silk on your server right now, even on a low population server, you'll find that most realms are flooded with this stuff. What this has ultimately meant is that it's been really cheap for people to level up their tailoring this week, and people are just going into like panic mode. God, why can I not sell these items? I need to get rid of them quickly. Grim Veiled Pants, for example, selling for less than 1,000 gold right now. That is literally under the cost of just the arboreal shards. That is literally under vendor price right now. The fact that people are selling them this cheap is crazy. A goblin needs to swoop in and buy out the stock on these and try and do a little bit of a market reset possibly. But what have we got to remember with this is that come next week, when the demand for these rank 1 legendaries does actually increase, you can make a lot of gold with this even with tailoring. If you've put the time and the effort in to get it leveled up, the demand is going to be tenfold as of Tuesday in the NA, and as of Wednesday morning in the EU. The demand for these legendaries is going to spike through the roof. If you've got a few stocked up already, or arguably if they're this cheap, I mean, I'm actually so very tempted to buy some of these out, even though I'm not even a tailor, just to relist them next week, and even if I double or triple my gold on them, happy days. If people are selling them below the cost for even arboreal shards, there's a real opportunity there long term. There's virtually no way you can lose. But tailoring is the only one that's in that position. Tailoring is the only one of the 4 professions that's had materials so easy to get that it's meant that the prices have been trashed on them even before people need them. Let's talk blacksmithing for a minute. Blacksmiths are in a slightly more stable position, but only slightly, and I say that relative to tailoring. I've also seen many reports this week that the price of the tailoring blacksmith items even, are still way below vendor value. What do I think about how this is going to play out long term? Well, rank 1s are always going to be the cheapest option, and there's no barrier to entry for people to craft the rank 1s. They can level up their profession slowly over time and then instantly create rank 1s, which just means there's going to be just crazy competition on rank 1s all the time, forever and a day. But the advantage you're going to get if you've spent that time leveling up right now is that rank 2s, 3s and 4s are going to be a lot more difficult to first unlock. And put it this way, if you open your profession and you think that you need X amount of materials to craft your rank 1, and you're a casual kind of player, you're not looking to buy them off the auction house, you want to be self-sufficient, and you go and you craft your rank 1 yourself, that's cool. Next week you want to look at maybe upgrading that to a rank 2, and then all of a sudden you realise that to even unlock the rank 2 you're going to have to craft 14 more of that exact same item, and then you look at the auction house and see that, well, I could just buy the rank 2 at a good price. Your average Joe is maybe going to craft their own rank 1, but they're very, very unlikely to craft their rank 2s, 3s and 4s themselves. Not unless they've got a good sort of auction house mindset about them and know how to actively go out there and sell the rest of them. Blacksmiths, one quick tip for you going into next week when it comes to supply: expect the price of a lithium ore to spike. It's already doubled in price almost on my realm over just the last few days as people are preparing for next week. Lithium ore is somewhat limited in its supply. Yes, more people are getting to level 60 so they can go out to the moor and do some farming, but their time is limited in the moor. Even as a jewel gatherer, that their sole intention is to just go to the moor and farm for a lithium ore, they can't be there all day. Eventually they're going to end up killing enough mobs or accidentally completing enough quests, or heaven forbid actually playing the game properly, and the jailer's going to kick them out of the moor and they're going to have to wait until the next day to go back and do it again. This means that a lithium ore is going to go up in price, not only because blacksmiths are going to want to buy it all to craft these rank 1s, but equally the fact that jewel crafters are going to want a lithium ore in large quantities starting next week as well. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk leatherworking then for a couple of minutes. Leatherworking is one of the top 2 professions in the game for me right now. Very simply because materials are very hard to come by. Looking at the prices of both the leather and the mail right now, you can see that only very select items are really being undercut heavily. And this is because it's expensive as all hell. Why is it expensive as all hell? The heavy callus hides. You need loads of them for leatherworking. You've got twice as many things that you could potentially be crafting because you supply both leather and mail. Plus, the main resource that you need to be able to craft these things is, on average, I asked the stream today, I asked over 200 people today what the price was on their realm for the heavy callus hide, and the prices ranged anywhere from between sort of 1,000 gold to 2,000 gold per single piece of leather. This is why the supply for leather workers is going to be really, really tight. When the supply is tight and the demand goes up, that means only one thing. It means that the prices of everything goes up. And that's going to include the rank 1 legendary items. So when you see people doing this right now, 8,000 gold, arguably, that's probably not too far over craft cost right now. Opportunities are there. I'll let you work out those for yourself. Going forward, leatherworkers, unless Blizzard step in and change something with skinning, leatherworking is going to be very, very expensive. So my recommendation is not to try and craft one of everything. My recommendation is to focus on 1 or maybe 2 item slots, like pick Pick a cheap one like the arm guards for say, maybe, and then pick an expensive one that might be in high demand like the helm, and then try and level those up. Try and get them to rank 2, because honestly, the first people that get rank 2s, 3s and 4s in this are the guys that are going to make a lot of change. They're going to make a lot of gold, I can guarantee you of that. And now finally, let's talk Jewelcrafting. Jewelcrafting is the big one for me, not just for me personally because it's what I've focused on, but generally because it has the most potential gold to be made, in my opinion, and I'll explain why. The Jewelcrafting base legendary items require essences. Now, if you're a jewel crafter, you probably know what these are, and you've been getting some through doing some prospecting already. But for anybody else that's just looking at the legendaries as a whole, or is deciding which profession they want to go with, jewel crafters need essences. Now, those essences, there's 4 of them, and the only way to get hold of them as of now is to prospect ore. What's happened in the last week, though, is that jewel crafters have been doing what jewel crafters have always done. They've been buying a bunch of ore, they've been prospecting it for the gems primarily, they've been focusing on trying to get the gems, and when they've got the gems, they've been crafting like the leveling rings and the 151 item level 60 gear and that sort of stuff, and they've been selling that, and they've been making loads of gold, and they've been doing what a jewel crafter usually does. What they've had in their back pocket then is a whole bunch of these essences that they just kind of see as spare things right now. They weren't focusing so much on the legendaries because they know that they're not super beneficial till next week. The demand's not there till next week. So what have people been doing? They've just been dumping them on the auction house. Why wouldn't you? Get some cash for them while you can. The difficulty or the problem I see going forward is that people have not been paying attention to their prospecting rates. If you are to start switching your mentality and you're to start prospecting ore for the purpose of getting the essences to meet the demand that is going to be there for especially the Shadowgast ring. The ring is going to be a super popular one because it has 2 item slots, and it means that you can get a mythic ring and still be able to use your legendary. The ring is going to be the key seller for jewel crafters. What people haven't realised though is just how hard it is to come by these essences once the gem market is crashed. Now, people don't necessarily believe me that the gem market has crashed, but I can tell you full well, if you look at the price of some of the raw gems on your auction house right now, there's loads of them. And why is there loads of them? Because people are prospecting like mental right now. Let's look, where is it? Typical, I can't find it. There we go, gems. You can see these are like literally the Anger's Eyes and the Umbreal gems are genuinely not much more than vendor cost right now. I think they vendor for like 2.5 gold a piece. It wouldn't surprise me if on some servers these are literally going for vendor price now. So what that means is anybody prospecting ore next week to get these essences basically has nothing that they can do with the gems, apart from maybe craft a couple, maybe sell a few at really cheap prices. Gems is in a bit of a weird situation. These essences though, these essences are going to become super valuable, and the people that have been dumping them on the auction house all week for like 100 gold are going to regret selling them that low. When, to give you a ballpark, I would not be surprised to see essences jump up to at least 500 gold each. That's a ballpark number, but it is based on some maths. If you want to find out what that maths is in great detail, make sure you come and check the live stream out. This is basically where we've been doing all of the testing for this all week. By doing some simple maths based on prospecting rates, I've come up with a number of about 400 to 500 gold to where I expect the essences to sit next week and going forward, because you know you can only get so many of them from prospecting, and prospecting obviously has a cost. So jewel crafters are going to make a lot of money if they plan ahead. Some of the other professions with their base legendaries have got a lot of potential. Tailoring, TLDR, I'd sort of steer clear of it unless you've already leveled everything up, whereas in that case you've still got a good amount of profit to make. And blacksmiths, just be very cautious of the price of the Elithium ore, because there's people like me that are selling the enchanted lithium ore at a nice profit, and that's only going to go up. So I'll leave you with that, guys. I hope that video was helpful. Please leave the comments down below based on what your auction house is looking like when it comes to the rank 1 legendaries, and let me know what your strategy is going forward. Of course, all of this is just my opinion, so I fully welcome discussion down in the comments down below. I love reading them, and I'll reply to as many as I can. Guys, we'll be streaming again pretty shortly after this video goes live, so if you're watching it, if you're one of the first notification squad, thank you. Make sure you come and check out the live stream, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.